A very happy morning to all of you. It is an honor to be addressing ISRO staff, and I feel very happy and privileged to be having this opportunity. I don't know whether I have confidence to win over you in the next 2 or 3 hours. So sometimes when I am also down with confidence, we know if I need one confidence from anywhere, that has to be him. There is nothing that all of us can put together, the entire world put together can do, which he cannot do. Sometimes when the confidence becomes low, when I have checked myself, if I introspect my past where I have already given such sessions, I ask myself this question: when did I go on the dais and I did everything on my own strength? If I ask, I will say never. Why do I say never? I think I was never capable of even standing there and uttering few words without thy will. Because everything that happens in this world happens with two people put together. And we start forgetting that, and the day we start forgetting that, that is when we start losing the confidence. Because let me be very clear, there is nothing that you can do, you can never even wink your eye without thy will, and ye shall also not do without you. So you and ye put together, miracles are possible. That is what is confidence all about. There are a lot of such aspects where you can see a person gets into a small encounter, and that is where he has complete faith and he says, come what may, when he is there, I can always win over anybody. And with that faith, when he sits there, miracles are going to happen. Let me take up this beautiful story, because the faith that we have towards him is going to define how successful we are going to be. Right now I am starting this class. The confidence at which I begin this class is going to define the class, and the end of the class, either I get a wow wow, or I get an okay, or I get a not so okay. Any three things can happen. I face a small situation. Based on the situation what I have faced, any three things can happen. I get what I expected, sometimes I get what I did not expect, sometimes I get exactly opposite to what I expected. So in all these three situations, if we can become neutral, then confidence building will become easier. Most of us, we become reactive to any such situations based on the result. If the results become excellent, confidence will boost up. If the results do not become excellent, it is exactly the opposite of what we expected, our confidence is lost. Next time to go on the dais and then perform the same kind of a situation where I need to address few learned personalities, it starts creating fear in me. Even when we talk about the encounter between Arjuna and Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita was required in order to build confidence in Arjuna and tell him, Arjuna, jo bhi aap kar rahe ho, galat nahi kar rahe ho. Arjuna had a very straightforward question. He says, Krishna, whom am I supposed to fight? I need to fight my own brothers and sisters. I need to fight my own guru for achieving something. If I need to fight my own blood to achieve something materialistic, I don't need this, Krishna. I don't want to fight. Lot of confidence had to be filled up. Chapter 1, he was not confident. Chapter 2, he wasn't confident. Chapter 3, he wasn't confident, and goes on and goes on and goes on, and after 14 chapters he says, yes, I understood what is the purpose of my life, and right now I am ready to fight, and he fights. The entire Bhagavad Gita is nothing about confidence building. It is law of karma. It is your karma to fight, and it is their karma that they will have to actually die in your hands. He declared it. He confidently declared, every one of them whom you are seeing are going to die out of your hands. And it is their karma, and it is your karma to be on the side of what is called as positiveness. And it goes on. Let us say some of the places where confidence was shaken up. And when confidence is shaken, and if you don't 100% trust, it is not going to work. Confidence can be redefined as faith also. I strongly have a faith that today I can take up this class. I strongly have a faith Chandrayaan 3 soft landing shall happen without any problems. So that faith is also required, but that faith can be redefined as confidence by giving it a new name. That confidence can be redefined and given a new name called as belief system. I strongly believe Chandrayaan 3 is going to be successful. And there is this lady, I strongly believe I can actually overcome this situation. Somebody is going to help me. I'm going straight to this Mahabharata only. All of you know who is Dushasan, a very heavily built gentleman. He has such a big chest that he can move what is called as heavy weights. He is a very strong personality. When Draupadi is dragged into this palace place, and when Draupadi is dragged, Draupadi is trying to avoid herself by being dragged by Dushasan, which is not going to happen. She understands that. Now Dushasan is trying to pull a sari. When Dushasan is trying to pull her sari, she assumes that I can always rescue myself, and she holds on to it, and slowly she realizes, I think I may not have enough such energy that I can rescue myself. I need Krishna to intervene, and she holds that in one hand. First time what she does, she holds everything onto herself and she says, nothing of you Krishna, I will manage, I will not let him drag my sari out of my body. And then slowly when she realizes it is not happening, her confidence starts falling down. When her confidence stops falling down, she realizes I need that confidence from somewhere. So I have faith in Lord Krishna and I need him to come. But her faith was not 100%. She holds on in one hand, and one hand she lifts up and says, oh Krishna, I need you. And when he had to lift her hand and say, oh Krishna, I need you, Krishna says, Amma, you're still not having complete faith in him. I would have come at the call of the first. But your husband, before entering this palace, he made a promise, let Krishna not come. If Krishna comes and sees that I am gambling, Krishna may not like it. I don't want Krishna to see this. So he prays and he gets in. Same thing all the 5 Pandavas will do. If Krishna doesn't come, it will be nice. When they have asked me not to come, and when you are asking me to come has to be much powerful than asking not to come. So you will have to be 100%. And that is when she realizes, I think it is not going to work, 50% of me, 50% of Krishna. And she releases that, and she simply lifts her hand and she says, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna. And miracles happen. Most of the time, all the movers and shakers, when we say, all the movers and shakers have not done everything on their own. People have joined them. But they had to have that confidence that they can lead from the forward. When Gandhiji was pushed out of that moving train, only 2 thought processes came. All of us encounter such situations in our life. We fail miserably. Chandrayaan 2 failed, yes. It was such a situation, and they needed somebody to come up to them and say, it's okay to fail. What is not okay is to give up on it. Let us try once more, one more time, so that we start getting results. That was very important. I really appreciate when our Prime Minister went up to the scientists and he told, it's okay to fail. We have full confidence in you. Continue with Chandrayaan 3. And today when they are successful, yes, it is also very important right now also to go up to them and then you have done a wonderful job. All the future projects, it is going to be on my head. Go ahead. So this confidence is important. Is that everything was done by Prime Minister? No. But Prime Minister's building up of confidence within himself that this can happen, and Prime Minister's building up of confidence that these people can do, automatically the entire world will come together and results will automatically come. So, confidence is not something which you can materialistically see. Confidence is something that is there inbuilt which cannot be seen, it can be felt. I can feel this guy is confident enough. I can feel this guy can do miracle. See, always remember 1 or 2 incidents just to recollect. Always we had incidents when Pakistan घुस के हमें मार रहा था. And every time वो लोग घुस के मार रहे थे, our army was very confident that they could always do back the same thing. But the rule was different. अगर उधर से गोली चलेगा तो the person who is actually encountering that particular bullet, he has to take a permission from his senior asking, साहब जी उधर से गोली निकल रहा है, मैं चलाऊं क्या? Then he will ask one more person, साहब जी उधर से गोली निकल रहा है, मैं भी चलाऊं क्या? And he had to talk to the defense, he had to talk to the Prime Minister, and again the Prime Minister would say, nahi, we are a peace-loving country, we don't want unnecessary attention from the world, otherwise US will do this, Russia will do this, China will do this. That is how it always happened. So confidence building is, that leader has to build in that confidence that अगर उधर से गोली निकलता है करके आपको मन में लगता है तो चिंता मत करो, पहले आप गोली चला लो. That is the confidence building exercise what our Prime Minister did. He built this confidence onto every scientist and he told it's okay to fail. What is not okay is to give up after you fail. Life is always a collection of success and failures. Always remember those who have been very successful or those people who are having multiple failures also. You can take up any number of examples. Thomas Alva Edison told, you may think I am a very successful scientist, but let me tell you, I failed 9,999 times how a bulb could be made, and finally I found out that this is the way, if the bulb is made, it is not going to fail. It was easy for him to give up. All of us have this attitude of giving up. Our confidence starts actually getting diminished when we start experiencing multiple failures. All of us know behind that multiple failures, like ahead of that multiple failures, success is there, and behind a success there has to be multiple failures, but we don't realize this. Let me tell you a beautiful story. It is a humorous story, but after that we will understand, yes, we have still not reached that nth vada. Here was a Udupi man. Bangalore is famous for, South India is famous for idlis and vadas. A man from Bangalore just walks into Bangalore. He thinks he's a very smart guy. He goes to one of the Udupi hotel where the owner is sitting at the counter. The owner is sitting at the counter and he goes to the owner and he says, Sabji, yes, do you get very delicious vadas here? Because it is written on the board, best delicious vadas. Yes, we get the best and delicious vadas. Sir, I have only two questions. What is that? Is your vada tasty enough? He says, yes sir, we have the best tasty vadas. And the next question, does your vada satisfy the hunger? Yes, it satisfies everybody's hunger. It shall satisfy your hunger also. It's a simple logic. Sir, you have told me it is going to satisfy my hunger. Yes, he told. What is the cost of one plate of vada? He says one plate of vada is 30 rupees. He goes and he sits there and the owner orders one plate vada. Vada is given and he says, sir, chutney and sambar, is it free? It is free. We charge only for the vada 30 rupees. He is very happy. The first plate of vada comes. He just breaks that first plate of vada. He eats. It was very delicious. He looks at the owner and says, very delicious. But he says, hunger not satisfied. The owner is very happy. Hey, plate vada kodi. Give him another plate of vada. He completes that other plate of vada. After he completes that vada, again he says it's very tasty. My stomach is not full. Second is done. Third is done. Because the vadas were very small in size. Third is done. Fourth is done. Fifth is done. Sixth is also done. Still he says vada is very tasty, but my hunger is not satisfied. Seventh, we call it as Sapta. Sapta Rushi, we call it as Sapta Vada. That is the logic for this. So, when the seventh Vada is offered, the owner was very confident that this Vada is 100% going to satisfy his hunger. And I can ask the new customer to go and sit, because this guy is eating on the Vadas. There are other people who are waiting, they need to occupy the space. So he gives him, plate vada kutpidi, saku ansute, ali yaar queue alli idare avarna kundusi. That is how the कॉन्वर्जेशन गोस. इसका लास्ट वड़ा यही रहेगा, उसे खाने दो, उसके बाद में लोग जो बाहर बैठे हैं उन्हें एक एक करके अंदर बुला लो, ठीक है? एंड ही गोस एंड ही गिव्स दैट वड़ा. He breaks that vada into 4 pieces. He picks up the first vada, dips it into sambar, dips it into the chutney, and then when he has it, he feels it is already full. Somehow forcibly he picks up one more piece, he eats it, and now his stomach is completely full. He looks at the owner and says, oh, sir, stomach full. He comes to the counter, and as soon as he gets into the counter, he pays him 30 rupees and he's moving. As soon as he's moving, the owner will stop him. Sir, you took 7 vada, 7 ones are 7, 7 twos are 14, 7 threes are 21. It is totally 210 rupees. Immediately they say, sir, आप जो बोल रहे हो गलत बोल रहे हो. हमने क्या बोला था पहले? आपका वड़ा टेस्टी है. हाँ, टेस्टी था. हम कहाँ ना बोल रहे. आपने क्या बोला? My vada will satisfy your hunger. But did the first vada satisfy my hunger? No. When it did not, how can I pay for that? I'm not paying for that. Second vada, no. Third vada, no. Sixth vada also did not. Seventh vada really satisfied my hunger. And I have not eaten complete seventh vada. Only half of it I have eaten. I should pay only 15 rupees because I have eaten only half of the vada, but I am still paying 30 rupees because I am a good man. We will stop the logic there. We will not go into further discussion. For the success of the hunger, do you think the seventh vada was responsible? No. The failure of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh was responsible. For the success of the 10,000 attempt of how a bulb should be done, how a generator should be created was not important, but this failures of 9,999 times was very important for that success. Most of the time we forget that behind success there has to be multiple failures. Ahead of multiple failures there is always going to be a success. When is that our confidence is going to be challenged? It's a common understanding. For a human body or for a human mind, if I am trying to experience something which I have not experienced earlier, automatically my mind and my body starts messaging me, I think this you have not done it earlier, you are doing it for the first time, so your confidence is low and fear is high. See, it is like this, when the confidence goes high, fear stops coming down. But when the confidence starts coming low, fear automatically starts going high. This is the nature of life. For the first time, when I had to stand on my own legs as a toddler, it was a challenge for me. I failed multiple times. When I failed multiple times, did your mother say, "Saako nimmelida nintkolod beda, abhi khade hona zaruri nahi hai"? Then आप जिंदगी भर ऐसे ही horizontal शवासन में ही मिलते थे. But that failure was necessity for you to get up and fail, to get up and fail. Getting up हो गया after multiple failures. To walk and fail, to walk and fall, to walk and fall, it was necessity. And finally, you were able to walk. To run and fail, to run and fail, to run and fail, it was necessity. But after multiple failures, I was able to run. Getting onto the cycle, to cycle and fall, to cycle and fall, to look at your dad who is holding you, to cycle and fall, it was necessity. But when we look at this confidence, first fear is high, confidence is low. But when you keep on giving multiple practices, I keep on practicing, keep on practicing, keep on practicing, what happens? Fear starts coming down and down and down, confidence keeps building up and up and up. But this will happen for something which you have experienced. For something which you are not experienced, you will have to again restart with the same logic. What is the logic? Fear is high, confidence is low. Again it has to build up. Maybe in the second part of the session, I may ask you to come on the dais and share few things. Automatically a natural fear starts developing in you. It is good. Fear is an indication you are trying to do something which you have not done earlier. It is a right indication. Is it dangerous? No, it is a gift for you. I'll give you a simple example. I still remember that day when my son, I showed him Spider-Man 2. We watched Spider-Man 2 and we bought a Spider-Man costume also, because after watching the movie he started thinking he's a Spider-Man and he told, "Papa, I need a Spider-Man dress." I got him a Spider-Man dress and he told, "Papa, I need something where I have seen a toy, when you do like this, spider web will go." Not spider web, one plastic thing will go. That is the toy. I told, "Okay, I'll buy it." He came home and after he came home, he wore all the dresses and he told, "Papa, we'll go to the metro." I told, "Why do you want to go to the metro?" Because Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man will stop a metro car. And he says, Papa will go to the metro. And he told, why? Papa, who am I? I told you are a Spider-Man. What did the Spider-Man in the movie do? He stopped the metro train. Yes, I want to stop the metro train. Papa, take me to metro train. What will I do now? I can't bring down his confidence. Because as a child, our confidence is very high and we are fearless. Will you think a 2-year-old will think twice jumping from this place to this place? No. For you, if I say, I need to counsel you for 1 hour to say, it is okay, you can jump from this place to this place. I'll have to show science, I'll have to show chemistry, I'll have to show physics, I'll have to put a bet, and I'll have to tell you, it is okay if you fall, nothing will happen, then you will fall. To go for a bungee jump, you know there is no danger, and there is a trainer to actually tell you it is no danger, you can go, you can do it, nothing shall happen to you. For that I need to counsel you for 1 hour. And then the costume has been put of the bungee jump and you are being pushed, you go down, you come up and you say the experience was good. But as a child, we were fearless. And as a child, there is a God in us. There is more of God in us than we in that body. That is the reason we say child or godness in nature. So we were fearless. Do you know when fear started coming? Because of the curse of Indra. Indra is a maintainer of all the 7 planets, including the sun. Hanuman as a boy, or all of us as a kid, we were fearless. We did not hesitate. Even if a child is told you climb this tree, he will not think twice. Pata pata pata, he will climb. But you won't leave him. You will hold him so that he will start climbing everywhere. He will start moving everywhere. You drop a child in front of an highway, he will never think twice. He would have crossed half of the road. Why? We are fearless there. Slowly the fear has been built into us by the external environment. They keep on feeding in fear. No, you will fall down. No, you will slip. No, that will happen. No, the devil will come. No, the ghost will come. Bhutha will come. All these are being fed to us. As a child, we were fearless. Hanuman was fearless. One day Hanuman was talking to his friends and he says, pick me a big mango and give it to me. Hanuman went on to the tree, picked up the big mango and he was giving it to the tree. These boys were saying, this is not big enough, this is not big enough. They told, you go little high, there is a bigger mango. He went there and he plucked it and came. He told, you go little high, there is a bigger mango. No, we are not happy with this small mangoes. We want a big mango. When they were saying a big mango and they were looking at the sun, it was sun setting. The sun looked like a mango, ripened, yellowish in color. One of the friends told, I want that mango. Do you think all of you can eat that? Yes, all of us will share. We will give it to the villagers also. You go and get it. Hanuman was fearless. Hanuman simply jumped. How far did he go? He was supposed to touch the sun. Isro will hit it, where actually Hanuman went and hit and came, and that is how far he went, and that is when all these devatas started telling Indra, this guy is going to do some trouble, he is going to bring some trouble. They thought he is capable of even picking it up and then bringing. See, confidence cannot be measured in terms of any kind of a measuring equipment. It cannot be measured. What they told was, Hanuman was capable of, or every small as a child we are capable of growing ourselves into abnormal quantity depending on what we want to achieve. So as Hanuman started flying, Hanuman started becoming bigger and bigger. As a child, he became bigger and bigger and bigger because his thought process was, if I need to catch a mango, what does my confidence say? I'll have to spread my hand as big the mango is. If somebody is giving a small chocolate, do you think you will open up your hands like this? You will say, he's giving like this. If he's giving like this, common. As he was flying, look at his confidence building. He started growing and growing and growing. His hands started spreading because he had to match that mango. As he went and the speed at which he was going, there was no stopping at all. That is when Indra comes, he intervenes, he not only hits him very hard and he also curses, telling, let all the kids forget how fearless they were, all the kids forget slowly, it is not immediately, slowly forget how confident they were, and that was a curse still existing. When we talk about this confidence building, now what has happened? Hanuman has forgotten what he is capable of. Hanuman was not only capable of doing small things like flying from India to Sri Lanka. Hanuman was capable of going outside the galaxy and trying to pick up the sun from the galaxy and come. That was his capabilities. But because of the curse of Indra, he had forgotten. And now everybody is thinking, who is going to fly to find out if Sitama is there in Sri Lanka? Everybody is thinking, who is going to fly to Sri Lanka to find out if Sitama is there? And everybody is looking at each other. Who is going to fly? Who is going to fly? Who is going to fly? Then Jambavanta will come. Hey Hanuman, come here. Hanuman goes, what are you thinking of? Do you know what was your capabilities? Hey, as a child, you picked up that sun as a mango. You were about to do that. Do you know what is that distance? That distance comparatively is, you can do million times better than this. Confidence started growing. Is it so? I can really do that? Yes, you have already done so many beautiful things. This is nothing for you. Is that so? And that is when he makes up his mind and he flies. A small personality development class happens there. Jambavanta gives a class to Hanuman and says, Hanuman, you are capable of doing much more bigger things than this. This is too small for you. Automatically the confidence goes high, the fear starts coming down. When the confidence goes high and fear starts coming down, miracles are possible. Now, when my son told, I need to go to metro, I cannot bring down his confidence. What did I do? I was also a smart dad. What I told, I will only become the metro train. And I called my wife, Tanuja, you also come. I called my elder son, Shashamant, you also come. And we held him and we told, we will start moving, the Spider-Man will come, he will put the web and he will stop the train. Is that okay? He told yes. And we told, you become the Spider-Man and we are the metro train. He came there, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, and he spins the web and he had to give the narration also. Now I am going to stop the train, and we also stopped. And he thought he has stopped. So fear is a gift because you know there is a danger involved. The fear of why it may be a failure of Chandrayaan 3 was required so that they could prepare for all those conditions in which a failure could arise. So they were able to prepare better. Even the testing, as I have heard in the books and journals what they have written, they did not test it once, they tested it multiple times because they never wanted to go wrong. So what happens, if I want my confidence to go high, fear to come down, I will have to face the fear. Either face a fear in a pseudo environment or face the fear in the real environment, but you will have to face the fear. When you face the fear comes down, the confidence goes high. When you do not face the fear becomes monstrous. That's simple logic. As a child, I was afraid of darkness. So what should I do? I should go to my papa and say, or papa will come up to me and say, it is okay if it is even dark, nothing shall happen to you. Papa, no papa, I don't want to go into darkness. Our papa holds our hand. So I need somebody who has experienced that fear. He can train us better. So lot of scientists came up to them and who have already done the launching there. They could give a lot of ideas. They could give a lot of researched facts, and that way we could be well prepared that this could happen. There was a fear, but we were well prepared for that fear. So I hold my papa's hand. Papa will take me to the room and he will hold my hand and he will stay for some time until I go to bed. Then he says, now you are okay, son? Can I leave? Okay, papa, please leave. And I leave. Next day, if I don't do that, if I bring my son and make him sleep next to me, that is going to be his fear for his lifetime, and he will never be able to comfortably go in a dark room and sleep on his own. First day I do it, second day I do it, third day I do it. He's experiencing the fear, he's experiencing the fear, he's experiencing the fear. Bravery is not, again I'm telling you, this man was very brave enough to actually do this. Bravery does not mean he doesn't have fear. Bravery means in spite of fear he encounters a situation. Those are the Pakistanis who are attacking us. Those are the militants who are consistently firing me. But I am courageous. That doesn't mean that I don't have a fear. I have a fear that any of those bullets that is going to come out of him can hit me. And knowing that I go there, that is called as courageous. Every time Alexander the Great, every time Ashoka the Great, every time the Maurya, Chandragupta Maurya went on to conquering the half of the world, he knew that any such knife, any such arrow can hit me, but the confidence at which they go well prepared, knowing that one of the arrow can really kill me. Do you think for a man to die you require a big arrow to come and hit you? No, simple to simple arrow, or an ordinary sevak or a sainik who may lift his arrow and throw at you can hit you. And you are no more. What is courageous? Though I know there is a fear, I get prepared to handle that fear, and along with that fear, when I go and hit it, that is called as courageous. Chandrayaan 2 के बाद Chandrayaan 3 was a courageous attempt because there was still a fear of failure. वो लोग हमें घुस के मार सकते हैं, हम भी जाके उन्हें घुस के मारेंगे. Uri, the surgical strike happened, but there was a fear. Courageous is, I know it may fail. Even if I know it may fail, I take this courage to say, go and hit them. अगर वो लोग घुस के मारे हैं, हम भी जाके घुस के ही मारेंगे. And that is how the culture has to be. That is what I say, confidence. Knowing that there is a fear of rejection, knowing that there is a fear of failure, and after the failure, knowing that there will be a lot of tantrums that is going to be thrown onto me, still I go there and courageously execute. That is actually called as courage. Courage doesn't mean he is fearless. To become fearless, you will have to be Krishna. To become fearless, I'll have to be Vishnu, I'll have to be Jesus, I'll have to be Allah. I am not, I am a human. Fear is a natural phenomenon. Fear is saying I'm trying to do something which I have not done earlier. Beautiful. Somebody may give me 10 years of theory class. After the theory class, they push me into an ocean and say, use all the theory and come up. Will you come up? You may come up, but directly up there only. Why? Because that is not the preparation that you were supposed to get into. Fear was there, theory was given, practical was not given. No, you will have to play safe. Fear is important. No, I may fall, I may drown, I may not be able to float. That fear is required. So practice in a small swimming pool. Try to float yourself. Afterwards, go for a small lake. Try to float yourself. Then go for a small stream. Try to float yourself. Then go to the river. Try to float yourself. Then go to the ocean. You will automatically float. There is a process. I will all of a sudden do magic and bring the confidence down, or take up the fear up, or bring the fear down and lift up the confidence. It's not going to work like that. See, when we understand confidence, let us also see, where do you think we read confidence? We will try to understand these basic questions. What is confidence building? Why confidence building? How to be confident? How to build confidence? Importance of confidence building. We have understood to execute various simple tasks also, we miss out on confidence. In some of the confidence, when it is put into challenge, there is no life or death kind of a situation. But in some places, there is a life and death kind of a situation. That is where we say confidence has to be very, very high. All of us take a few business decisions, and that may be in our favor, it may not be on our favor, it's okay. But when you are encountering into a life and death situation as a rescue officer, as a border security force, as an army man, as an air force officer, or any kind of such a problem when you encounter, you require utmost confidence to go there and then execute. So ordinary people cannot be a part of that. We can understand that. So depending on our skill set, we will have to choose the right kind of verticals where I may have highest number of confidence and I will do justice to that vertical. Simple example, I cannot bring Tendulkar and say you become a host of a show and you actually run Kaun Banega Crorepati, because I know you are much more famous than Amitabh Bachchan, but it does not work. Now I can take Amitabh Bachchan and say, Amitabh Bachchan ji, you go there and play the cricket because you are so famous, you have made such a big name in the industry of film. I think that will reflect in your cricket also. You can hit sixes and fours, there is nothing like that. No, it will not work. Confidence can be built in the skill sets that you have. You cannot build up confidence in reverse direction. It is not going to work. So, confidence building does not mean being mad and telling, sitting under an apple tree, mangoes fall, mangoes fall, mangoes fall. Most of us do that. I sit under an apple tree and I expect mangoes fall, mangoes fall, mangoes fall. It won't. I go to a flour mill, I put what is called as, we call it as wheat. And I am expecting I want rice flour. Rice flour won't fall. To get the rice flour, I'll have to put the rice there. Actually, to get a wheat flour, I'll have to put the wheat there. If I really wanted apples to fall, I should go and sit under an apple tree. I cannot sit under a mango tree and expect apples is going to fall. So, when I say confidence building definitely cannot happen in negative direction. It has to be in the same direction. Bulb should glow, yes. What Bhagavad Gita chapters were over. Now, bring it to action. Remove the bow and arrow and shoot. Chandrayaan 2 ho gaya. Now Chandrayaan 3 start preparing. Let there be dates. Without that action, it is not going to work. So, when we are explaining what is confidence building, it can be giving you an experience of that particular thing which you are not confident of. So, that is sometimes we may be blind enough to assume that we are confident in that particular situation, because that will not work. Being blind enough to understand that Amitabh Bachchan can also become a great batsman like Tendulkar, or being blind to understand that Tendulkar also can become a greatest anchor like Amitabh Bachchan may not work. In some cases, you may find an entity where he is a good anchor also, a cricketer also. But confidence building means it has to be in the same vertical. That is where we need to get into what is called as a neutral counseling. If at all you are lacking confidence in something, it could be anything. There, you can go to some of those who are experienced and ask them, I think I am not that confident about this. Can you talk to me and find out where is the problem? Or when you face a situation where your confidence is low, you will have to do what is called as SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? What were our strengths in Chandrayaan 2? What were our weaknesses in Chandrayaan 2? Our weaknesses was soft landing. What were our strengths? We were able to go to the right orbit at the right time. So all these were greatest strengths of us. The only weaknesses was we did not identify a proper place where it could be landed. We did not go too close by, and we could not stop the speed of the final launch, what we call it as a soft landing. That is where we failed. So a SWOT analysis has to be done. What were our strengths? What were our weaknesses? Our strengths becomes our asset. Improve your asset so that it becomes much more better. Our weaknesses becomes our liabilities. Start working on the liabilities so that in future I don't encounter the same. Same thing happens to you also. When you do SWOT analysis, all of you may not be successful in all the places. All of you are scientists. In office, all of you are successful. Few of you will be successful in bringing up your kids. And we can see that success when you say, my son is studying in IIT JEE. But few of us will be successful in the way we manage our wife. Your life would have been a miserable family life. Kids are doing extremely good. I might have miserably failed there. Few of you would be miserable in public speaking. Few of you would be miserable in actually driving an ordinary car. You can drive a remote based rocket and try and put it into the orbit, but घर पे एक कार आप नहीं चला सकते हो. It's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody cannot be good at everything, because God does not create duplicates. We have not understood the nature of God's creations at all. अगर भगवान को किसी को create करना था, उसी को duplicate करना था, it was an easy task. He did not believe in duplicates. No two twins from the same mother will have the same kind of voice process or the voice footprint. It can never be same, because God does not create what is called as duplicates. He creates a masterpiece who is unique, who is original, and he will always remain a masterpiece. Where is your confidence going to be shaken up when you actually compare yourself to somebody? It's easy to make anybody feel miserable. तेंदुलकर को बुला के एक ऐसे जगह पे डाल दो जो क्रिकेट के बारे में जानते ही नहीं, and ask them to interview Tendulkar and find out how good or bad he is. Bring Thomas Alva Edison into a place where nobody knows about inventions at all. Ask them to find out what credentialed person is this. They will say, what a miserable person you have brought. He doesn't know cooking, he doesn't know walking, he doesn't know doing this, he doesn't know doing that. And do you think he is any worth of living a human being? No. So confidence is always different in different entity. And always remember, whenever we do this comparison, we miserably fail. And comparison will not work. Sometimes a last bencher will be actually projected in something beautiful, and you, as front bencher, will be working under him. Everything is possible. He is the business magnate, he is leading that, he is a sponsor, and everything is happening. For that, when we talk about confidence building, we are shaken up with the confidence, and our judgment there will be so immature. We think this is bada. I'll give you a simple story. A completely drunk man. He is always drunk, but बिंदास आदमी है. ड्रिंक्स करता है तो भी अपने आप को मोदी जी से कम नहीं समझता है. एक दिन ऐसे ही पूरा रात पी के he was just walking. जब वो वॉक कर रहा है उसे लग रहा है धरती ठीक तरह से नहीं है, क्योंकि जब वो ऐसा जाता है धरती बार बार ऐसा जाती है. And that is a kind of a man. And एक पंडित अभी पूजा करके बाहर आ रहा है. वो पंडित को रोकता है. पंडित जी रुकिए, क्या हुआ? पंडित जी, ये धरती क्यों मेरे से गेम खेल रही है? क्या गेम? अभी देखो मैं इसे ऐसा टिल्ट करता हूँ, ये ऐसा ऐसा करता है. हाँ देखो धरती टिल्ट हो गया. हाँ महान बात, धरती टिल्ट हो गया. And he should go. Before he could just move, he advises him. सवेरे सवेरे पी के आपका भी जिंदगी है क्या? He talks to the drunkard like that. हमारा जिंदगी नहीं है, दैट मीन्स आपका जिंदगी है. बहुत अक्लमंद हो. हाँ, मैं आपसे प्रश्न पूछता हूँ, प्रश्न का ठीक तरह से उत्तर दे दो, मैं समझ लूंगा आप अक्लमंद हो. ओके, बिकॉज धरती इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ही जस्ट वाज स्पोकन, टेम्पल इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. At that moment, only those two things will be running in your head. He says, ये पूरी दुनिया में धरती से श्रेष्ठ कौन सा है? धरती से बड़ा कौन सा है? I see the Pandit ji was thinking, just because he came from the temple, उसने बोला ये पूरे दुनिया में धरती से बड़ा कौन सा है? He says धरती से बड़ा भगवान का टेम्पल है. Then he says, अगर धरती से बड़ा भगवान का टेम्पल है, वो अकलमंद पंडित जी, then वो टेम्पल धरती के ऊपर कैसे खड़ा? Then he says, अरे यार मुझे छोड़ दो, हम यही मान के चलते धरती ही बड़ी. Okay. Then he says, ये पूरे जिंदगी में धरती बड़ी या भगवान बड़ा. When he talks about that, he says that धरती is बड़ा. Then immediately he changes this line, अरे यार मुझे माफ कर दो, आप भी बोल दो कौन बड़ा? He says धरती बड़ा. Then he gives another comparison. ये पूरा दुनिया में धरती से बड़ा कौन है? He says धरती से बड़ा. He thinks who is बड़ा. Then he thinks शिशु जी के गले में the शेषनाग is there. He says धरती से बड़ा शेषनाग है. Then as soon as he says अच्छा शेषनाग धरती से बड़ा है, हाँ शेषनाग धरती से बड़ा. अगर धरती से बड़ा शेषनाग है तो वो शिव जी के गले में कैसे पड़ा? सर इमीडिएटली he says, अरे यार मुझे माफ कर दो, शिव जी बड़ा. ये पूरा दुनिया में शिव जी बड़ा. अगर शिव जी बड़ा है तो वो वैकुंठ में कैसे खड़ा? Then he says, अरे यार मुझे छोड़ दो यार, वैकुंठ ही बड़ा. अगर वैकुंठ सबसे बड़ा है तो वो हनुमान के उंगली पे कैसे खड़ा? And he says, what he says is right. अरे यार वो भी नहीं, आप भी बोल दो कौन बड़ा? He says, ये पूरे दुनिया में दो पूरा रात पी के दो टांग में खड़ा वो सबसे बड़ा. So what happens At some point of time, you can't compare at all. Yes, temple is more, temple is large, temple is big. Temple and Dharti, no comparison. Dharti and Sheshnag, no comparison. Sheshnag and Shivji, no comparison. Shivji and Kailash, no comparison. Kailash sitting on a one little finger of that small Hanuman baby who wanted to eat that mango, which is Surya. It is nowhere comparable. So sometimes what happens, our motivation, our confidence becomes low because we compare ourselves with somebody else. And when you look at this simple understanding, where do you think we need confidence? If I am trying to understand these 3-4 questions, where do you think confidence building is required? Confidence building is required in painful doings. जब आपको जल्दी सवेरे उठने के लिए बोलना है, जब आपको एक्स्ट्रा वर्क काम करने के लिए बोलना है, जब आपको एक्सरसाइज करने के लिए बोलना है, जब आपको कुछ प्रिपेयर करने के लिए बोलना है, जो पेनफुल डूइंग्स है उधर कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ने की जरूरत है. वी नीड टू बिल्ड अप कॉन्फिडेंस इन दोस प्लेसेस. बट प्लेजरेबल थिंग्स में नीड नॉट. मैं आपको बोलूं अभी चाय के लिए जाओ, सब लोग बोलेंगे हाँ, बिकॉज इट इज प्लेजरेबल. उसी समय पे आप अपने बच्चों को बोलो चाय का समय क्यों, अभी पढ़ो और एक घंटे का क्लास लूंगा, उसके बाद में हम चाय में जाएंगे. इट इज अ पेनफुल. सो व्हेन यू लुक एट दिस confidence building naturally is required in all those places where we call it as a painful doing. Confidence building is not required in some of this pleasurable doing. Early morning, not to get up, sleep in Shavasana. Yes, it is a pleasurable experience. Do you need motivation? No. पूरा रात टीवी देखने के लिए do you need motivation? No. Pleasurable. मोबाइल लेके कंसिस्टेंट गेम खेलने के लिए, रील्स देखने के लिए, यू डोंट नीड मोटिवेशन, इट ऑटोमेटिकली हैपेंस. सो कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड इन पेनफुल डूइंग्स. बट हैव वी फॉरगॉटन टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फैक्ट. व्हाट इज दैट फैक्ट? जो इनिशियली हमें प्लेजर देता है वो परमानेंट पेन डेफिनेटली देता है. जो इनिशियली हमें परमानेंट नहीं, टेम्पररी पेन देता है, वो परमानेंट प्लेजर आगे देता है. सिंपल. मैं रोज अर्ली मॉर्निंग उठता हूँ, 4 o'clock उठ के योगा वोगा करके, आई एम ऑल्सो ए मैराथन रनर, मैं रन करता हूँ. सो व्हाट हैपेंस, माय बॉडी रिमेन्स एल एंड हेल्थी फॉर द एंटायर डे. नो डिजीज इज गोइंग टू टच मी ऑल्सो. सो इनिशियली आई गिव पेनफुल एक्सपीरियंस टू माई सेल्फ by getting up every day early in the morning, practicing yoga, exercising myself. I see that I get a permanent pleasure of good health forever. No BP, no sugar. Beautiful. But initially I want to eat as much I want. I want to sleep as much as I want. I don't want to exercise. I don't want to do yoga. I don't want to do pranayam. Yes, it is a pleasurable experience. This initial pleasure may change a person who looks like chapati into a big puri, and after puri he may become a batora, but when you see afterwards, you will have a permanent pain. The BP is in you, the sugar is in you, the kidney is not functioning normally, the pancreas is not generating, the liver has started to malfunction. So everything works like this. So confidence is required to go from positive to negative? No, from negative to positive. I'll give you a simple example. Assuming I am taking a class, for negative things no confidence is required. You simply push, he will go 100 miles and he will achieve whatever he wants if it is negative. To convince smoking is okay and to make you a smoker, it doesn't take time. It's very easy also. To convince smoking is injurious to health and make you quit smoking is very difficult. So negative by itself is having plenty of abundant energy. You just touch and release it. It will create you into negativity within no time. But to develop positive attitude, he requires 14 chapters. अर्जुना को सही काम करने के लिए, पुश करने के लिए, कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डअप के लिए 14 chapters का जरूरत था. Sometimes we also get disturbed when we are talking to our own kids and we say कितना मोटिवेट करना पड़ता है, उसके बाद भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. तुम कृष्णा भी नहीं हो, अर्जुना भी नहीं है. कृष्णा को अर्जुना को समझाने के लिए 14 chapters लगा. Actually they say it was so many years. In one of the lines they say एक युग बीत गया भगवत गीता बोलते बोलते. Arjun was not convinced. But for the entire world it was a fraction of seconds. Arjuna comes out and he says, before I could start the war, did I take lot of time? I and Krishna were talking? No. We thought you spoke for few seconds, that's all. And in that few seconds, one look of personality development, that confidence building of telling what you are doing is right, go ahead and do it, that happened. So let us understand this simple. Initial pleasures will give permanent pain and initial pains will give you permanent pleasure. All of us will repeat it. Initial pleasure will give permanent pains. Initial pains will give permanent pleasure. And one more line, confidence building is required for all painful doings. Confidence building will not be required for pleasurable doings. And there is something called as comfort zone and uncomfort zone. See, when we look at something which I have experienced earlier, to do that I don't need confidence. I've been preparing coffee early in the morning for 5 cups for my family. If 2 additional people come, to make it 7 cups, I don't need any confidence building. Automatically ho jata. I have never prepared coffee in my lifetime and all of a sudden 5 of my friends have come. There I need confidence. It is not the measurement of what work that defines the confidence. It is the measurement of whether you have an experience or not that defines the confidence. So in simple terms, confidence is nothing but the difference between what we call it as Brahma Gyan and we also call it as a monkey Gyan. In Kannada there is a saying, Kaliyavargu, until unless you learn, आपको लगेगा ये ब्रह्म ज्ञान है. सीखने के बाद आपको लगेगा ये मंकी ज्ञान है. कोति विद्ये we call it as in Kannada. Kaliyavargu Brahma Jnana, Kalt Mele Koti Vidye Enotara. So anything that you are trying to learn for the first time, which you thought you would never learn, and when you try to learn that, it will look like a बहुत बड़ा Brahma Jnana है. First time somebody gave you, yeah please.
So yesterday we taught nothing permanent. Once there is a pleasure, after that there will be a pain. Once there is a pain, after that there will be a pleasure. It will go on like this. So how anything will be permanent? Like you told, after pleasure, we will get a permanent pain. Permanent pain. The pain, we will get a permanent pleasure.
I would like to answer in these terminologies. Why I told initial pain is anything that you consistently give, slowly the body gets used to it and it becomes a sort of pleasurable only. पहला दिन आपको 4 बजे उठाने के लिए मुझे कंप्लीट ब्रह्म ज्ञान आपको देना पड़ेगा. उसके साथ साथ बकेट में पानी लेकर आके आपके ऊपर डालना भी पड़ेगा. इट्स अ पेनफुल एक्सपीरियंस. आप उठना नहीं चाहते हो, आप मुझे जिंदगी का सारा बैड वर्ड्स यूज करके फाइनली उठते हो. मन में अम्मा आपका सब कुछ बोल बोल के आप उठते हो. पेनफुल था. That is the reason we say nothing is permanently painful, nothing is permanently pleasurable. Now, पहला दिन मुझे उठने के लिए it was painful, दूसरा दिन उठने के लिए it was a painful, तीसरा दिन उठने के लिए it was painful, चौथा दिन उठने के लिए it was painful. There is a saying, when you do it for 21 days, after the 21 days, the pain becomes pleasure. After 21 days, the pain automatically becomes pleasure. That first 21 days में you will always find it is a dead end. आपको लगता है नहीं possible है, dead end है. लेकिन थोड़ा सा आगे जाओ, उधर एक bend रहेगा and you will see. These are imaginary, what we call it as end lines. नहीं मैं नहीं उठ पाऊंगा, आज उठ गया. कल भी नहीं उठूंगा, नहीं उठ पाऊंगा, सर भी बोलने से भी नहीं उठूंगा. With pain only आप उठोगे, with pain only आप उठोगे, with pain only आप उठोगे. एक वीक के बाद when you ask yourself, am I experiencing pain? नहीं यार, आजकल मैं खुशी उठ जाता. तो पहली दफा when you people get married, I'll be telling you in the next. All sweetness would have been spoken about you and your wife, you and your wife, you and your wife. For the first time after marriage, after 6 months, you started identifying your wife is not an angel, she's also a devil sometimes. To get used to it, it was such a painful experience. And again, 2-3 days back, she was a devil. Again, today also she becomes devil. And again, after 2-3 days, she becomes devil. And again, after 2-3 days, she becomes devil. Then after that, if she becomes devil, what will you say? अभी देख, एंजल अभी डेविल हो जाएगा, अभी देख एंजल अभी डेविल हो जाएगा. पहले आपका जो हार्ट था उधर जाके वापस आता था. एवरी टाइम शी यूज्ड टू से तुम शैतान हो, शी टोल्ड तुम एंजल हो, तुम भगवान हो, तुम मेरे स्वामी हो. Then slowly she started to मेरा ड्राइवर हो, तुम मेरा कंडक्टर हो, तुम मेरा क्लीनर हो, तुम मेरा ऑफिस बॉय हो. पहली दफा लेने के लिए बहुत तकलीफ होता था, पेनफुल होता था. जब बार बार बोलते गया है ना, उसी को प्लेजरेबली लेना शुरू कर दिया. नथिंग दैट इज पेनफुल विल ऑलवेज परमानेंटली रिमेन पेनफुल. नथिंग व्हिच इज प्लेजरेबल विल रिमेन permanently pleasurable. That's the reason a person who is smoking one cigar per day will not stop, because it doesn't continue with the same pleasure. It stops. What he will do? एक से मुझे नहीं हो रहा है, दो लूंगा. Oh, good, बहुत बढ़िया, दो ले लो. दो से भी अभी काम नहीं चल रहा है. कितने दिन से दो ले रहे हो? 6 months हो गया. 2 से अभी काम नहीं चलेगा, 3 ले लो. पहले एक पे दूर से देखते ही हम सो जाते थे. There are some of the drunkards who say, पहले दूर से if I see a liquor shop only मुझे इधर ही फेंट आ जाता था, because वो अज़म ही नहीं होता था. Slowly एक पेग से वो pleasure is not coming. 2 पेग से ही मुझे लगता है कुछ पी लिया. Then comes 3rd peg and then comes 4th peg. A drunkard will still feel अभी भी मुझे नहीं लग रहा है मैं पिया हूँ. वो पंडित जी के बोलता है वो दुकान खुला है, ईसुस क्यों? मुझे अभी भी लग रहा है मैं पूरा नहीं हूँ, धरती हिल रहा है, मैं धरती को स्ट्रेट करना चाहता हूँ, इसलिए मैं जाता हूँ. That is the reason we say anything which is painful will never remain permanently painful. Anything which is pleasurable will never remain permanently pleasurable. Let me do a very honest saying. All of you are married. Wife was pleasurable. Wives are married. Husband was pleasurable. अभी भी pleasurable है? नहीं ना. दूर बैठो, तुम उधर सो, मैं इधर सोता हूँ. नहीं होता है. Life is like that only. Every day same thing. Pleasure and pain change हो जाता है. That is the reason we say, can you hypnotize yourself to tell whether I like or not? I will feed myself. This is a pleasurable thing for me. Let me continue to do that. It is a pleasurable thing for me. Let me continue to do that. Sometimes self-pepping is also required. It's very easy that you go into the natural world and people can hypnotize you and they can make you fall for so many things. It is very difficult after watching the present, what we call it as movies and serials, to avoid even thinking of a scene where cigar was not there, to even thinking of a scene where drinks were not there. It has become as though for every scene they drink, for every scene they smoke. Nowadays they have started making that smoking not only to boys, they have religiously given it to heroines also. They also continue to do, and sometimes they have not even left the kids. They have allowed kids also to do it. पहले दूर दूर से हमारा वो ट्री के पीछे वो लोग किस करते थे, वो लोग एक्चुअली किस नहीं करते थे, डायरेक्टर लेकर जाके आपके अजम्पशन पे छोड़ देता था. स्लोली वो थोड़ा सा दिखाने लगे ट्रांसपेरेंटली, और थोड़ा ट्रांसपेरेंटली दिखाने लगे. अभी सब कुछ खुल खुल के दिखा रहे, लेकिन फिर भी आपको लगता है इस मूवीज में मजा ही नहीं आ रहा है यार. पहले मूवी देखते थे लेकिन वो मजा कुछ और था, वो गुनगुना रहे थे. अभी उस टाइम में जो लोग मूवी अभी देखो पेट के पीछे जाएंगे, पेट के पीछे जाएंगे, पेट के पीछे जाएंगे, गए कंप्लीट. शादी भी हो गया, बच्चे भी हो गए, बच्चे उधर से आ जाएंगे. अभी वो पूरा दिखाते हैं. सो प्लेजर एंड पेन इज अ मेजर, दैट्स ऑल. Every day when you eat 2 chapatis, you felt your stomach is full. Slowly what happens? The appetite starts telling 2 chapati is not enough. It will tell you 2.5 is required. And every day you take 2.5. After some years it will say 2.5 is not required. You require 3. So you should introspect your mind and start self-pepping. If I eat more than 2, I may not eat chapatis after some years. There was this doctor who told, "Abhi peena chhod do." He told, "Abhi peena chhod do." He told, "क्यों? अभी पीना छोड़ दो, नहीं तो अभी 2 टांग में चल रहे हो, बहुत ज्यादा दिन चलोगे, नहीं तो एक लास्ट 8 legs में चलोगे, उसके लास्ट चलते ही नहीं जाओगे." जब लोग आपको उठा के लेके जाते हैं, आगे दो पीछे लो, इधर दो इधर दो इधर दो इधर. Now, what is that comfort zone and what is that uncomfort zone? See, comfort zone क्या होता है? Something which I have done earlier, we put it into a zone of comfort zone. Whatever I have not done earlier, that is not a comfort zone. So what happens? Whenever I need to do something which is in my comfort zone, it is easy. मेरे घर के फैमिली के आगे खड़े होके बात करना, it is a very comfortable zone. There is no problem. मैं बात कर सकता हूँ. लेकिन if somebody says no यार, you will have to come, there is an entire flat people, we will assemble them, around 30-40 of them are there, you will have to speak to them. Slowly you will say मेरे से possible नहीं है. Just now you spoke to your entire family, you spoke those beautiful words, but your confidence is not there because that was not your comfort zone. And assuming that also by hook or crook, after 1 year of practice you did it. Now finally he says, yeah, it was not a gathering of 100 here. All the flat association people, they have been assembling in one big seminar hall. Around 2000 people will be there. You will have to tell the same thing. What are the benefits of welfare association? What are the advantages of having a welfare association? Can you come and do? No. Why? It is not within your comfort zone. So something which you have already been doing consistently, that gets into your comfort zone. Something which you are not doing regularly, that will always remain in the outside the comfort zone. So confidence building exercises trying to go out of that comfort zone. Voluntarily trying to go out of that comfort zone, because when you volunteer and try to do something new always, your mind will like those challenges. It could be even simple to simple things. मैंने कभी भी if I go to any of the Wonderla or in that place, there is some ride where it is a thrilling ride. There is lot of fear that will be put into pressure. Experience of fear. You should try that. Dark rooms, you should try that. Maze rooms, wherever you go, you see the mirror, you feel like you are completely lost. Try it. Because all these are a mind games which is totally trying to build confidence in you. Because whenever we talk about confidence building, I told you when the confidence goes high, fear comes down. When the fear goes high, confidence comes down. So what happens? To build confidence, I will have to handle fear. What is fear? Fear is you introspecting if something goes wrong. When you don't introspect and you do, it will never come to your vision at all. You will successfully do it. What I say, I am blinding you. And I tell all of them will be seated as it is. You will have to cross from this place to that place and go. You are very confident. You say, "Arey yaar, kar deta hu." Kya problem hai? 100%. Then what I do? I go to one more person. I explain him. You will have to go blindfolded. That person is a business tycoon. This person is not a business tycoon. He is just a security guard in his office. I just tell him, आपको blindfold करता हूँ, आपको इधर से सीधा उधर जाना है. जा पाओगे? हाँ सर, 100% जा पाओगे. चिंता क्यों करते हो? Good. But for that person I say, इसी रूम में 3-4 lions हैं. आपको ऐसा 3 बार घुमा के आपको छोड़ता हूँ, आपको सीधा उस दरवाजे पे जाना है. Will that guy make any attempt to come close by? No. He will say, नहीं आता. This person, I tell him to go, he will automatically go, because he did not anticipate that fear. That childishness was there in us. Sometimes we say childishness is bravery. What childishness is? He agreed to go. But I did not say there are lions. Why? When he agrees after the lions are there also, that is childishness. So fear को कैसे handle किया जाता है? We will talk about the simple public speaking fear. Anything. Fear of height, fear of horse riding, fear of dark rooms, fear of getting into that dark place. The Darauna place is there in many amusement park. When you go, it goes into a dungeon. Lot of things happen. You feel, oh, I had a chilling experience. I felt my heart nearly had an heart attack. So what is that fear? Fear is an indication to our mind and body that I am trying to experience something which I have not experienced earlier. So what happens? The fear starts creating some chemical imbalance in your body. It's a natural phenomenon. बीपी ज़्यादा होता है, all of a sudden your throat becomes dry, you feel like I want to drink plenty of water, and you feel like your legs are shaking automatically without even music around, and you feel everything is going blind, I'm not able to remember. All these common things happens. We will try to understand from the perspective of public speaking, so that wherever you go, fear has to be handled in the same manner. The first part of fear handling is acknowledge the fear. Don't try to say मुझे डर नहीं हो रहा है. That is very dangerous thing. Accept मुझे डर हो रहा है. I'm experiencing fear. Ask him, what are you doing? Explore. मुझे डर लग रहा है. आप क्या कर रहे हो मुझे? Yes, my throat is becoming dry. उससे जान जाएगा? नहीं जाएगा. खड़े रहो. My hands and legs are shaking. Is it going to trouble your life and death? No, nothing. खड़े हो जाओ. शेक होने दो. मुझे क्या करना है? बात करना है. बात करने के टाइम में मुझे लग रहा है सब कुछ ब्लैंक हो गया, लेकिन फिर भी खड़े रहो. जो मन में आता है बोलते जाओ. So what is happening? First, experience the fear. The second, we call it as explore the fear. Ask the fear, what is it trying to do in me? And when you ask him, he may be doing one or two things. He can't do everything under the sky. In some people, it is butterflies in the stomach. In some people, the throat going dry. In some people, shaky legs. In some people, shaky hands. In some people, eyes going completely blind or mind going completely blank. But is it permanent? No, nothing is permanent. आज रात है. अरे वेट करो, दिन भी आएगा. ये दिन है. वेट करो, रात भी आएगा. That which goes up has to come down. जो सक्सेस हुआ है उसे फेल्यूर में एक्सपीरियंस करना है. गेट रेडी फॉर फेल्यूर ऑल्सो. जो फेल हुआ है, there is no permanent failure. There is again going to be a success in your life. Your yesterday is not equal to today. Your today is not equal to tomorrow, and your yesterday will not be equal to tomorrow. Don't have this. It is going to be permanent. Every time the accounts book has to be open, it has to be open for every financial year again from zero only. No, 99 में लास्ट टाइम आउट हुआ था, उसी 99 में एक रन लिख के मैं 100 बनाऊंगा. नो, यू विल हैव टू स्टार्ट अगेन फ्रॉम जीरो only then it works. So experience the fear, explore the fear. Fear क्या क्या बदलाव लेकर आ रहा है. Every time I go to the boss, I feel trembling. It's okay, trembling only ना, tremble कर लो, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा. He's not going to get into your pants and find out where are you trembling, how much you are trembling. No, until unless you don't say, it will not happen. It's natural phenomena because you have not experienced that. Go again, come. Experience the fear, explore the fear. When you explore the fear long enough, that seventh vada, most of you at third vada only, I don't want to eat only. My stomach will never become full. Idiot, what you are doing is a mistake. Continue to eat. Hey, Malik, continue to eat. Stomach will get full afterwards. Continue to eat. This is only an imaginary failure. Success is awaiting you a little ahead. For the first time I ask you, चलो यार कैंपस बड़ा है, हम लोग भागने चलेंगे. सब लोग शुरू करते हैं. 100 मीटर्स के बाद किसी को लगने लगता है इधर दर्द हो रहा है. स्लोली वो दर्द इधर नहीं है, एक्चुअली इधर ही है. आपको लगेगा इधर दर्द हो रहा है. नहीं पॉसिबल. If the coach says nothing doing, run. Not possible. अभी कैसा लग रहा है? सब पॉसिबल है. There is no permanent being. कुछ समय के लिए वो इमेजिनरी फिनिशिंग लाइन आ जाता है. आपको सब कुछ ब्लाइंड होने लगता है. मेरे को लगता है सक्सेस मेरे इसमें लिखा ही नहीं. When you will have to analyze success, you will have to understand how Abraham Lincoln's success was. अब्राहम लिंकन को एक नाम दिया गया था, ब्लू आइड बॉय ऑफ फेलियर. दैट मीन्स फेलियर उसके रग में था. दैट इज व्हाट वी से. He actually failed at least 30 elections and finally won the president election at the age of 65. How many failures you would have experienced? Dale Carnegie, he wanted to commit suicide. Before committing suicide, he told, let me write why so many people are successful. वो लास्ट लिख के उसके बाद मैं मर जाऊंगा. And finally he came there. Confidence building automatically happened. He saw there were a lot of people they were never a person who had become successful without experiencing deep and deep failures. They had experienced deep and deep failures. So one of the best remedies, you will have to act confidence. Sometimes you may not be, you will have to act confidence. By acting confidence, slowly I told you, when you act confidence, you are actually enabling a vessel of how much God can pour in the confidence onto you. Simple logic. अभी बारिश हो रहा है, मैं आपको बोलूंगा जाओ यार बारिश हो रहा है, आप थोड़ा सा पापा पानी लेके आओ. I have told you go get water. It is up to you. You go with a small glass, you will get a small glass of water. You go with a spoon, you will get a spoonful of water. You go with a big container, you will get a big container of water. You go with a big dam of water will come. The size of the dam is under your control. The size of the pan is under your control. Take the biggest pan. God will fill all the vessels. So what happens? You will have to create that confidence vessel. God will pour in confidence. But are you ready to expand the vessel? No, मैं इतना ही रुकता हूँ. मैं दोसर देख के ऐसे ही गाना चाहता हूँ. नहीं होता है. गाने से तो गा सकते हो, देखने से नहीं गा सकते हो. So you will have to expand the panel of your confidence. God will pour according to the size of your confidence. That is the reason Clement Stone very beautifully thinks, if you think you can, you can. That is confidence. If you think you cannot, that is also confidence. Your confidence, you cannot become a singer. Good for you. You became a cricketer. It is good for you. You did not know that you can become a singer because there was no such quality in you. Your pan never could fill the confidence of being a singer. Good for you. From a chaiwala, you became a prime minister. So sometimes confidence building has to be understood in this sense. In this vertical, I need to have confidence. So in that vertical, you will start reaching the milestone which nobody else would have reached. In certain things where you don't have confidence, you will never be able to fill up confidence. Give up that and try to work on this line. A chaiwala became a prime minister. Yes, why? Because he kept on filling up the right pan of confidence for him to see himself as the greatest leader. One of the teacher who came in an exchange program, she becomes the greatest Mother Teresa. Yes, that was only possible because her panel of confidence was she could do that. One beautiful incident happened because when we talk about confidence, never forget he is there. When you came with a penny. माँ के ऊम से तेंदुलकर came with a bat. Hey, देखो यार क्या confidence है, bat के साथ माँ के ऊम से आया. नहीं होता है ना. You come as an ordinary person just like anybody else. Mother Teresa came with a shawl? No. Abdul Kalam came with a rocket in his hand? No. Abdul Kalam was actually smelling even fish there because her mother was complete fishy ray fish. So there is nothing like that. The greatest gift God has given us is all of us are born equal. The greatest gift you can give back to God is fill in the confidence of your vessel in what vertical you want to grow. That you are expecting to grow cannot be denied by God Himself. There is a beautiful saying, अगर आप किसी चीज को हासिल करने की चाहत रखते हो, if you are intentionally willing to achieve something and that is there deep in your mind, even the entire universe cannot do a conspiracy and reject that happening from you. It will only be delayed. Denial is never written in the stories at all. You take up any such examples, he wanted to achieve something till his last breath and you have seen incarnations have happened and he has achieved those things. Shabari had to be meeting Ram. When somebody says it was incidental, what? Ravan had to take Sita. Otherwise, who would have called Ram to meet this Shabari? Who is responsible for Sita's actually kidnapped? Shabari. Who is responsible for this? Lot of people whom Ravan met. Who is responsible for Sita's kidnapping? Hanuman. Hanuman wanted to become a das of Rama. So that was incidental to happen. For that incidental to happen, Ram, if it was Ayodhya and Ram was honored as a king, all these incidents wouldn't have happened. Ask your confidence. Sometimes your confidence is shaken and exactly reverse results you got and you thought your life is shattered. And you got only two things in your mind. मुझे अभी सुसाइड कमिट करना है. गांधी जी को भी ऐसे ही हुआ था. Gandhiji as a lawyer, he never had any intention of freedom fighting at all. He thought, मेरा lawyership, मेरा family. He went to South Africa, अच्छा salary मिल रहा था. He wanted to work there, come back and enjoy a family living. That's how his mind was. He wanted to go to a court and he accidentally gets onto a train, moving train, assuming that particular compartment was for blacks and browns. Because there are compartments which were only for whites, there were compartments which were for blacks and whites. He accidentally gets onto that compartment of browns and blacks. He thought it is that, but only when he got in, he see sab log gore hai. He knew it was going to be a bad experience for him the next few minutes. He goes to one corner and he's sitting there like a street dog, hiding from being even watched by all of them. All of them look at him just like a street dog has got into a shit and got into the what we call that compartment. They wanted to chase him and they chased him out of a moving train. He fell, he injured himself. Only two thought process came. ये भी कोई जिंदगी है, मैं जीना ही नहीं चाहता. After this experience, मुझे इस जिंदगी से नफरत होने लगा. He got that process. At the same time, an ignition happened of confidence. He told, I will not only chase these Britishers out of the South Africa, I am going to chase them out of India also. That way, this man was shaken. And one of the book very politely writes, if there were two such incidents that were responsible for Britishers to leave India early, it was one for the incident that happened in South Africa where Gandhiji was thrown off, and this Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi becomes the father of nation. That transformation happened. Sometimes life will have to take you to that particular moment where it tears you apart, and then a new you is built over there. And for that to happen, your confidence has to be shaken up. And once your confidence is shaken up to the core, a new you will be brought out. This lady who comes in an exchange program, she is a teacher who comes in an exchange program. What is an exchange program? I go as a teacher to my neighboring countries. They come here as a teacher to the neighboring countries. In that exchange program, at that time, Calcutta had experienced a very bad moment because leprosy was at the core. That was the reason, thinking of the past experience of Calcutta and how India handled what we call it as pandemic, the world was anticipating, itna shav girega. Road mein there will be what is called as dead bodies, and this has to be seen, and this is going to be the experience of India, very highly populated country. That is what was the anticipation. But look at that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam attitude of us, and the entire world was looking at how India is going to handle this pandemic. They thought during the time of leprosy, do you know how inhuman it was? What kind of management they had? A person gets into leprosy, they threw him out of the house. Everywhere they threw him out of the house. The hospitals threw him out of the house. So the world was expecting a repetition of the same thing. But look at the confidence of this person. He brought the entire India nation together. It may be a ringing of the bell. It may be switching on the lights. It may be lighting the diya. He brought everybody and he told, it won't be a repetition of leprosy. He did not use those words and he told, agar koi COVID से पीड़ित होता है, उसे अंदर छोड़ेंगे, हम बाहर आएंगे. And the way we handle the COVID patients, even China has to learn a lesson of humanity. Do you know in China when they identified a person was actually sick, they closed his doors and this one and they locked him and they actually hammered the entire place so that nobody should come out. We did not do it. Yes, there were doors and locks. During the time of leprosy, the ancient after freedom, the way we handled leprosy, we left the patient dying on the roads, we left the patients dying on hospital beds and outside the hospitals, and there were nobody to take care of. Right now when the COVID came, there were a lot of people who were actually left for taking care of. That was the reason some people felt COVID idagale paravagiಲ್ಲ hospital ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. That was the experience of people. So that confidence was with him when we talk about Narendra Modi, because he never wanted at any point of time the citizens should suffer. When you have that unique will come what may, the citizens should not suffer, the entire world will support you, the entire India will support you, and that support was what Modi got. When I talk about confidence, it was Mother Teresa who was working as a teacher. When she was talking to the principal says, oh, what is it, ma'am, you have come to meet me? Sir, here is my resignation letter, I want to give this resignation to you. The resignation letter, when she handed it over, the principal knew she was a very good teacher, a noble-hearted person. She told, Amma, what do you want to do after resigning? I want to start hospitals. He says, do you think how difficult it is to start an hospital? A small clinic, you require thousands and thousands and lakhs of rupees. You are talking about hospitals. Do you think it's going to be easy for you? Yes, sir, I shall do it. Confidence was very high. And he told, okay, you try, ma. If you try, if it does not happen, I'll keep this resignation letter with me. If it does not happen, you come back, we will allow you to continue as you are. Then immediately she says, no, sir. If you do like that, I am giving a second chance for me. I am very confident, and she picks up 1 rupee. She says, in this 1 penny with me and God on my side, I am confident I can do this. That kind of a confidence is required. And most of the time, always remember, God is a co-author of your destiny. It is not you are writing your own destiny. A learned man, after that we will give you a 10 minutes break. A very good learned man who was very noble, very kind. He dies. After he dies, he wanted to see his entire life. When he was watching his entire life, he could imagine his entire life, that his life was always with ups and downs, ups and downs. He had seen peak of happiness, he had seen peak of sorrow, he had seen peak of happiness, he had seen peak of sorrows. Whenever he saw peak of happiness, he saw there was 2 footsteps. Whenever he was in peak of sorrow, he saw there was only 1 pair of footsteps it was walking. So he thought, when I was happy, I definitely needed God. God was there with me. When I was unhappy, I see only 1 footpath. Why God is not there with me? With that question, his body gets separated from the soul, and the soul goes to the heaven. And before the soul could utter these questions, God says, my loving son, I have an answer for you. You understood, right? During your happy times, there was 2 footsteps. That is definitely one of mine, and your one was yours. But during bad times, my loving son, you were so depressed, you were so lost, you even did not have enough courage and energy to walk on your own. And during your bad times, I have carried you along. Trust in Him, He will always carry you along. And sometimes obstacles are put by Him just to check your confidence. But sometimes when obstacles are put, you get attached to the obstacle. That is an idiotic thing that you could do. Valmiki was praying. Continue to do this. He wanted to know, my son is really praying. I want to know how confident he is about his praying. She says, Shakuntala. He never expected you will fall in love with her. He told, अरे यार, मेरे से प्यार करो. Instead, my obstacle को भेजा, वो obstacle से आप प्यार करने लग गए. God will send obstacles to you also. एक smoke करने वाला आएगा, एक booze करने वाला आएगा, एक abuse करने वाला आएगा, एक drug वाला आएगा, एक जो दुनिया में कुछ गलत करता है वो आपके सामने आएगा. वो obstacle है, भगवान ने भेजा है. ये मान के कि आपका, He has put that energy in you also, that confidence in you also, that you can fight them. Because it is His own people. Ask yourself this question, अरे यार अगर भगवान ने मुझे अड़चन दिया है, so उसी का देन है ना, वो खुद ही निपटा लेगा. मुझे क्या करना है, उस जगह पे, राइट जगह पे जाके उधर खड़े होना है. सिंपल. ऑटोमेटिकली वो कर लेगा, because He only has sent. मुझे किसी लड़की को पटाना है, सिंपल लॉजिक. लड़की को पटाना. सो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं अपने दोस्तों को बुलाता हूँ, इस लड़की को पटाने के लिए, इस भगवान को पटाने के लिए मुझे भगवान को इम्प्रेस करना पड़ेगा. कैसे इम्प्रेस करूँ? आप ऐसा करो, जब हमारा भगवान, जब मेरी लड़की ऐसी ही जाते रहेगी, आप उन्हें छेड़ो. जब आप उन्हें छेड़ोगे मैं आऊंगा, मैं भगवान को आप सब लोगों से बचाऊंगा, सो वो हमसे प्यार कर बैठेगी, मैं उनसे प्यार कर बैठूंगा। सिंपल लॉजिक है। जो लोग आते हैं मारने के लिए, आप उन्हीं के साथ भाग जाओगे तो आपका प्यार को क्या हो गया? I wanted to achieve something in my life. What is that? My dream is I like to start free hospitals. Simple. Confidence was very high. She went on with a begging bowl, asking, because it was not easy for people to actually give what is called as money, just as simple giving, just for somebody to build an hospital. It was a testing time. It was testing time for Gandhiji. Gandhiji was very, very confident, and he came and he told, we are going to chase the Britishers away. ओके, सुभाष चंद्र बोस करेंगे, युद्ध करेंगे, नो, अहिंसा। हाँ बापू, फिर से बोलो, अहिंसा। कितना कॉन्फिडेंस रहना चाहिए उस सिंपल आदमी से, that he had to tell with lot of confidence, I am going to chase the British out of India, but not with cruelty, with simple astra, ahimsa. It was not easy. He was tested. People ridiculed him. Mother Teresa was tested. Mother Teresa was ridiculed. It was one such incident, the confidence testing, how confidence has to be handled with faith, how principles have to be maintained, then confidence will automatically pour, irrespective of, in spite of whatever the world says. My unique one directional goal is I need to build hospitals, nothing shall come in between me, my emotions will not be distracted. Shakuntala 1 aayega, Shakuntala 2 aayega, Shakuntala 3, Shakuntala 4. No, I am not going to be distracted. My single-minded goal is I need to build hospitals. It was once in Calcutta, MG Road, when they were coming out of that hotel, a businessman had a very bad meeting. He wanted to actually get into blows, so much of anger was there in him. As he was passing this MG Road of Calcutta street, a very rich street, where a lot of businessmen come there and they will have their business meeting, he saw there were a lot of students who were wearing white clothes and white saris, and they were having a big banner of a lot of leprosy patients. We are building a free hospital for them, please help us. She came with a bowl and she stood in front of him. Sir, will you please help us build this hospital? Nonsense, you guys beggars, you don't have any work to do. That lady told, "Yeah, dena hai to do, nahi dena hai to puto." With that anger, he wanted to get into an argument with these idiots. Why I should talk? He turns back. As he turns back, Mother Teresa was there. She turns like this with a bowl in her hand, a white bowl, a white sari. She looks at him and he stares at her. She with a smiling face, "Sir, good morning, sir. Can you please help us? We want to build hospitals." He was in the score of his anger. He did not know what to do. He spits into that bowl. If you and me would have been there, you would have used Amma, Appa, Amma, everything under the sky you would have used. Within a fraction of a second, with a smile in her face, her smile was not even detached for few seconds. That U symbol is not detached even for few seconds. She picks up an handkerchief from her waist. She wipes it, closes it. I will have this. If you can help those people. That person, चाय के लिए हो गया, अभी ब्रेक दे देता हूँ। उस टाइम में ऐसा उन्हें लगा, that person holds her hand and he says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And he becomes the main person who was responsible for missionaries of charities to grow across India. Thank you, love you all so much. We'll have a first chai break. We'll meet after the chat. Video.